This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
You know, when we think about Hollywood legends, we usually picture big-name actors and blockbuster movies. But what if I told you that one of the most famous studios in the world owes its entire existence to a dog? Yep, this is the absolutely wild story of how a German Shepherd became a Tinseltown icon and a true symbol of loyalty. Okay, so picture this. It's the 1920s, and the studio Warner Bros. Is really struggling. I mean, they're the little guys with huge dreams, but even bigger debts. Every single movie they make is a massive gamble, and they are literally one bad film away from just shutting down for good. Now, when a studio is in that kind of trouble, who do you think they'd turn to, right? A charming movie star? Maybe a brilliant director? But the real savior for Warner Bros.? Well, he had 4 legs, a wet nose, and a backstory that was way more unbelievable than any script they could have written. His name was Rin Tin Tin. So that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth does a dog become the single most valuable player for a major Hollywood studio? Well, it's a journey that starts on the battlefields of World War I and ends on the silver screen. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. So, let's back up. Our story doesn't start on a sunny Hollywood lot. Nope, it begins in a place about as far from that as you can get, a war-torn battlefield in France. This is where a legend was literally born from rubble. Back in 1918, in the middle of all the chaos of World War I, this American soldier, Lee Duncan, he stumbles across a kennel that had been bombed out, and inside he finds a mother dog and her tiny puppies. He just couldn't leave them. He ended up bringing 2 of them back to the US with him, probably never in a million years imagining one of them was destined to be a superstar. See, back home in America, Lee Duncan got what most people would call a pretty crazy idea. He saw something really special in his dog, Rin Tin Tin. It wasn't just intelligence, it was this charisma. He really believed this dog belonged on the big screen. He didn't just want him in the movies, he was convinced his dog could be a leading man. And you know what? Duncan's belief in his dog was absolutely rock solid, and it didn't take too long for Hollywood to start noticing. This is how a dog with 0 pedigree became a total cinematic sensation. Turns out, Rin Tin Tin's talent was just undeniable. I mean, he was a complete natural in front of the camera. In the silent film era, his ability to express emotion really connected with audiences in a way nobody saw coming. He went from being this little novelty act to a genuine box office magnet, and his star just kept rising. But Rin Tin Tin's success, well, it was way more than just some feel-good Hollywood story. For Warner Bros., it was literally a matter of survival. The studio was on the verge of going under, and they were basically betting the entire farm on their 4-legged star. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up how crucial Rin Tin Tin was to Warner Bros. He wasn't just another actor on their roster, he was their emergency plan, their secret weapon. Anytime the studio was in a financial jam, they knew they could release a Rin Tin Tin movie and he would save the day. And we're not talking about a one-time thing. This wasn't a fluke. Rin Tin Tin starred in 27 movies for Warner Bros., and pretty much every single one was a box office smash. He was the most dependable star in Hollywood, and he basically single-handedly kept that studio afloat during its toughest years. But Rin Tin Tin's impact, it went so far beyond just ticket sales. He was more than a movie star. He became a cultural phenomenon. He completely changed how people saw animals, and honestly, you can still feel his legacy today. Seriously, he was the dog everyone wanted. Before him, German Shepherds were seen as these foreign military dogs. His movies, they transformed that image completely, making them symbols of smarts and loyalty, one of America's favorite family breeds. He proved an animal could be a real movie star with as much charisma as any human. And his fame got so huge, it even started a major Hollywood legend. Yeah, the legend about the very first Academy Awards really shows you just how popular this dog was. The story goes that he actually got the most votes for Best Actor, but the Academy, supposedly worried that giving its top prize to a dog would make them look silly, gave it to a human actor instead. Now, there's no real evidence this actually happened, but the fact that people believe it, that the myth is still around, that tells you everything you need to know about his incredible legacy. You know, Rin Tin Tin's story is so much more than just a fun piece of Hollywood history. It's a real story about loyalty, about never giving up, and about how sometimes heroes show up in the most unexpected forms. I think the story of Rin Tin Tin is just this powerful reminder that you never know where help is going to come from. For Warner Bros., it wasn't some famous actor or a hotshot director who saved them from ruin. It was a loyal dog who just never quit. In a world that's so often focused on fame and money and being the loudest person in the room, the story of Rin Tin Tin brings us back to the quiet power of loyalty. The greatest heroes aren't always the ones making the big splash. They're the ones who are just there for you when you need them the most. So as we wrap up this incredible tale, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Who is the Rin Tin Tin in your life? You know, who is that unexpected hero, that quiet force of loyalty, who's always been there for you no matter what?